All right. So what we do with these videos is we typically will splice up lots of other videos, which is one of the videos that you had commented on, the CallRail versus what converts. So I want to make another video with your input this time, as opposed to all of us just talking smack. What converts versus CallRail out of the mouth of the co-founder? What do you see as the big differences, the pros and cons of each?
What's your USP?
Yep. Our USP, like, we're lead tracking for marketing agencies and clients, and CallRail is a call tracking company that's sort of bolted on form tracking and things like that. If you get real nerdy and you go into the data structure, like when I mentioned earlier, you can get, if you've got a form on your website that has 20 fields versus 4 fields, CallRail, the way the data structure works, it sort of gets the common, like 6 form fields in one thing. So their data structure is more rigid. So, okay, I'm doing a bad job answering this, but basically, as a lead tracking platform, because What Converts was built from the beginning to accept all sorts of data and all types of leads in one thing, what you'll find is a unified lead tracking experience. So it's calls, it's forms, it's chat, it's e-commerce. And when you're running all those different types, as a marketer, you know, people don't just convert on one type, and it's important to see the complete picture. So if you're just using a call tracking provider, they're great for call tracking. But you do need to see the other sides, or at least me as a marketer doing effective marketing, I just find I need to see the complete picture. Because if you got called in one area and forms in another, it's very easy to double count those conversions. So, you know, you go into your customer saying, oh, we got you 2 leads. And it's like, well, not really. You got them 1 lead. So that's one thing. I think it's just the underlying platform. We value lead data very highly. So we collect a lot of lead data. You can add lead data. And once we have the lead data, we then provide you with tools to make that lead data accessible. Because if you've got data and you can't query it, access it, you know, like sort it, filter it, you know, just like if you've got a question, for instance, if you've got a landing page and you say, I wonder what landing pages gets the most leads, What Converts can tell you that in seconds. And then you can filter it down. So like a landing page that includes the word like drainage, you know, you can see that in seconds in our platform. If you have a report where it's like, you know, I looked at it the other day where we had 26 signups from one campaign, and I was like, oh, is that legit? So if you're going back to Google Analytics days, and you see goal completions and you see 26 goal completions, like conversions happened, and you're like, what's the value of those? Who were those people? Were they quality? So with What Converts, you get 26 conversions. Even if your client isn't qualifying them and you want to look at them, it's just a single click and you'll see all 26 conversions. And then you can create your view and save a view where you can see the contact name, the email address, the phone number. You can even add the field, like the message field from your form, like what they wanted, all in one view. And then you can set up your columns where you can qualify them like within seconds. So I know this is a long answer, but we've been in the call tracking bucket and we compared against other call tracking companies, but What Converts is a much larger platform to that. Yeah. The reason we like being in the call tracking bucket is because it converts really well. It's a conversion type where you need a third party. And many times, even though I value form tracking in What Converts like super high, most people were like, well, I track my forms in analytics, or I track them in, you know, my CRM. But it's just with the experience I've had and gathering the data, what I've seen is like when you capture all the form data with your marketing data and your form data all in one place, and you have questions like, for instance, I'll give you an example. You're running a campaign and you want to get insights like, how do I get better results for this campaign? What I'll do is I'll just go look at the leads from a campaign and I'll read the transcript of phone calls and I'll read the message in the form. And for instance, we got an example of like, you know, alloy rims or alloy wheels, and what terms do people convert on those? And you start seeing words like the people saying, hey, I've got scratches on my rims, or my rim is bent, or do you weld rims, and you just look at their words. And that was one of my tactics when I was in an agency. The first thing I'd do when I brought on a new client is I'd say, let me speak to your salespeople. And then I'd ask them, what words do the people say when they speak to you? Say, hey, I'm looking for X and it needs to have this. Tell me the words. Give me the forms that were filled in before. I want to read all the form data. So with What Converts, you don't have to go to the sales team. You just go to, our dashboard. You go through, you read through 10 items, and you get new keywords, you get new insights, you get to see, what can convert better. So that's one example of having the data in one place just allows you to get better insights. The other thing, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to ask a question really quick on that. Do you guys use like a keyword cloud or something so that makes finding those words easier than having to look at a transcript and hear call recordings? We can start seeing popular terms people are verbally either saying or on a web form.
That's a feature coming very soon in our lead intelligence. It's currently being developed. So with that call cloud, so in terms of like just capturing the keywords from an ad campaign, we do that automatically in a report, but the actual keywords from within the transcript, you can export to an Excel spreadsheet and then take the transcript and put it in a free word cloud. I've done that. They'll take you a couple of minutes, but yeah, we plan to build that in.
Well, and then what about the e-commerce tracking? Oh, sorry.
No, I just wanted to bring up my favorite feature. You guys tell me if this is in CallRail or not. I don't remember it. It wasn't in PhoneWagon. The transcription is beautiful because I don't have to listen to calls anymore. I can read them in a snapshot, know if it's a good call.
Yep. They do have transcription. They have keyword spotting, which is kind of like the same sort of a deal where you can score based on certain keywords that people say in the call. Like,
oh, that's cool.
I guess if they say credit card, that they're probably giving it to you or something, or Visa or MasterCard, I guess, you're probably getting a sale. But they have that. So as far as e-commerce, like how are you reporting on that? Is it the actual orders being completed? You're pulling the revenue data. I mean, how does that practically work when you've got like clients that are on the Shopify store? They're obviously looking there. Like, what do you see the benefit is for that, having that report together?
Yeah, so we've got, so for Shopify is different to WooCommerce. We got a little script that we give you that you put on your order confirmation page. And then we got any dynamic fields that are within the checkout page, like the order ID, the email address, the person's name, their physical address, and the value, the tax, the shipping. Those fields can be captured inside What Converts through that script.
Dustin, why did you ask about e-commerce? You're getting out of that. Remember we talked
about I'm just curious, maybe people that are watching this could see there's value for that, like maybe they'll say, hey, because, not many call tracking platforms that talk about e-commerce. I was just kind of curious where that is. I think maybe are you guys doing anything for enhanced conversions?
Yeah, I mean, enhanced conversions, we kind of do that anyway. I looked at enhanced conversions and they try and match conversions based on email address and phone number. But it's like we already tied back to your GCL ID, so it's going to be more accurate. Trying to match by phone number and email address is not going to be as accurate as if you tie it to the individual contact, which we do. Gotcha. So yeah, it's sort of like, we do that already, and it's they make it sound like it's a big deal, but it's not that big a deal.
Well, it is if you're not using. It can be depending on what kind of tracking you've got set up, because like some of the call platforms or some of the people that use them, they're more heavy on using like Google Analytics without like a Google tag on it, so you can't even use enhanced conversions. And I think, we'll see what it looks like in the future, but I've seen already where they are talking about maybe not having GCL IDs in the future once we get closer to a pixelless situation. So I don't know if that's going to be the case. I've just heard whisperings of that, and that's where I'm like, well, I hope everybody like you guys are ready for that, because that's going to be a big change if we come to that point.
I thought they were leaning more on the G-CLIDs, and I guess GCL ID, however you say it. I thought they were leaning more on those in the future. Now you're hearing that they're going away.
I've heard I've already seen like the web raid, which is like another identifier. Have you seen that in the URLs instead of G-CLID is web raid? Not sure why it's different. We get picked up.
We updated our platform, so we'll be able to capture the web raid, and the new tags.
Yeah.
So it's a bit hazy exactly how it works, but we're ready for it. We've already put in some coding to capture what it is, but it's like how they use it is a little bit of it's not like we're not 100%. We've got a fairly good idea, and so we think we've got that covered.